Hello, my name is Leanne and welcome. Today I'm going to be uplifting some items that I bought at a local thrift store. These are the items here. Although a lot of people might actually think that they look great on their own, I decided just to make them more my style and make a few changes to them. The first item that I'll be working on is this lamp. It did not come with a lampshade. It is a wooden lamp with some nice detail on it. I decided that I was going to paint it a pine bunch green, and this is a fusion paint that I'm using. So instead of using a cloth shade, I decided to use this basket. I just drilled a hole down the center, and then I carved out some of the wicker to make space for the screw and the finial to tightly connect together. Right here, I'm just making sure that I'm giving enough space between the area that the little knob that you turn to turn the light bulb on with is not too close to the metal hardware that secures the lampshade onto the lamp. If it's too close, you won't be able to turn it fully. Just a reminder to use an LED bulb if you're using a basket that doesn't have much ventilation in it, such as this one. That way it won't overheat. Right now I'm just adding some pigment onto some scratched areas on the basket. These are just little wax sticks that you put on, and then you just wipe off any extra that you won't want. And this is it all done. Next, I'll be working on this picture frame. Although the picture is really lovely, I decided to remove it and set it aside for another project and just focus on the frame. I absolutely love these frames. I think they're absolutely gorgeous once they have this beautiful paint on them. This paint is called Raw Silk, and it is a fusion paint. I like to apply this rather thick, actually, because I think that it adds to the older look of that, is appropriate to the age of this frame. I also like that this has more of a matte finish when it dries, so it gives it more of a plaster type look to it, and I think it just looks stunning when it's done. And this is it all done. Next, I'm working on this metal and wood candle holder. there's not much that really needs to be done to this. I do really like that you can tell it was used before. You can actually see leftover wax left all around where the candles sit. I didn't actually want to take too much of that off because I really do like how that looks. It adds a little character to the candle holder. There was a big crack when I actually took it apart in the wood. You can really see it if I bend it. All I had to do to fix that was add some wood glue. And in order for me to get it farther into the crack, I just took a piece of cardboard and pushed it down. It seemed to do the trick. When it was drying though, I did clamp it together. Also, right around the edges of where the screw is, there was some wear and almost some chipping of some of the wood. I just filled that in, and then I also filled in another crack that I had seen. And this is just with wood filler. It dries relatively quickly, it's easy to use, and when you're done with it, once it's done drying I should say, you just have to sand it off. Right here I'm just removing some of the wax that had fallen into where the candles sit, just so when I put new candles in it, they'll be able to sit securely. And this is it done. Now I am working on redoing these picture frames. The pictures inside are very lovely. I actually put them aside so I can use them for another project. Be very careful when you're taking apart old frames. They use these little metal spikes, and once in a while you'll get one in your finger, and it is not pleasant, let me tell you. The paint that I'm using here is a fusion paint, and it's called Little Teapot. I like to wrap up my wet brushes in between coats in cellophane and store them in a little container to prevent them from drying. Right here I'm just adding some water to some white paint and giving the frames a whitewash. And then I'm wiping down with a paper towel, a wet paper towel, anything extra that I don't want to have on the frame. I'm going to be using fabric as the base for the picture in this frame. So it is a white fabric. I was concerned that you'd be able to see the yellow cardboard through the fabric, so I decided to paint the cardboard white just so you couldn't see it through the fabric, the white fabric. This fabric is absolutely gorgeous. It has a lot of details, different stitching and ruffles. I absolutely love it. Right now I'm just gluing it onto the cardboard pieces and trimming anything extra that I don't want to get in the way. I had some leftover fabric that I had from some curtains that I used to have in my living room. It is a thick cotton and it is a nice beige color, and when I saw that fabric, not many people might think this, but I thought, wouldn't those look really nice as fabric flowers? So this is what I'm doing. I am making fabric flowers out of the old curtains from my living room. So if you haven't made a fabric flower before, they're actually very easy to make. I only ripped the fabric apart. I didn't even cut it. I put it, it's probably around a 1-inch strip. All you do once you have that ripped apart is take one of the ends and start to curl it. And then once you have what would be considered the middle of your flower, you just take the rest of the fabric and twist it and glue it and twist it and glue it so it mimics petals. And when you get around to the outer edges, you just twist it. You don't do as tight of a twist because a flower would have a larger petal on the outside, and that way it would look more like a flower. I found this in some old jewelry that I had bought from an auction. I think it might have been a belt of some sort or a different type of necklace. I'm not sure what it was. But I did see that these resembled leaves, gold leaves. At least that's what I saw. Other people might not see the same as me, but these are the things that come to me. So I decided to use those as petals. And right now you're just seeing me trying to figure out how they would look best. I didn't want the two to look exactly the same, but I wanted them to match, so I just decided to do a larger flower for this one. I also should mention too that I did do some distressing on the frames after that white paint had dried. Now I'm just putting some finishing nails into the back of the frames to hold in the pictures. I'm making sure though that all of the nails are pushed right down as flat as they can be, because if these are to be hung on a wall, you don't want those nails to scratch anybody's walls. I also put some hangers on the back so that way if somebody did want to hang them, they have that option. You could just get a kit like this off of Amazon or any hardware store. They're very, very easy to put on. You just have to find the center, and they come with screws, and I didn't pre-drill a hole. I'm just using the force of my hand and screwing it right into that wood. Very, very easy. And these are them all done. I think they turned out so cute. I really like these ones. The last item that I'll be working on is this shelf. This tag says it's from the company was established in 1905. I don't know how old the actual shelf is. It looks like it could be a little bit older though. I really like how the maker of this shelf gave it a distressed look, and they also left all the edges on the rougher side. And I really like how when you paint on that type of surface, the paint actually, to me, looks like it's aged a little bit. So for this one, I decided to put on 3 coats of thick paint. That, to me, gives it more of an older look to it. It looks like that it's been in somebody's family for years, and through the years they decided to paint it and over, and then I finish it with sanding around the edges to give it more of a distressed look too, and to me that just adds to the charm in the aged look. And this is it all done. I really like how this turned out.